damn it! Oh, come on! Why not 7? No! Alright, let's do this fight explanation. So, there's an option to skip the animation, right? If you don't skip the animation, what's gonna happen is, look at where the AI is shooting. The AIs are shooting on the missile launcher. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you probably know this already as you're doing a special interception, but if you skip the moment Modernia spawns right there, if you skip that, everyone will target the core instead. So, I don't know if like intentional or not. The thing is, it's been happening since the beginning. People have been doing it since special interception. So there we go. Now the fight is a fairly standard Modernia fight, except this time around you will actually get to experience her entire kit. Actually, in special interception, you don't really see the phase 3 as much. No, you don't see it at all, actually. Okay. So your goal is basically just, destroy these core as soon as you can. Oh my god, it's not even giving my Maxwell time to pierce shot, but this team is just pretty strong. Okay, so second part around this time, around after 50 seconds, 2 minutes, 10 seconds, she's gonna do her phase 2 where she starts teleporting around. And your goal is to like stay alive, destroy these missile launchers, the wings. If you destroy the wings, they will respawn again, which basically gives you bonus points. And it's probably not obvious already, you should destroy the wings because you get bonus points on that. It's about like 25 mil bonus points for each time. So one of the min-max things that people do on the fight is making sure to break those wings as fast as they can while those missiles are happening. It's a little bit tough, but if you can do it, then that's great. Now, after doing that second phase, this is now kind of third phase actually, where she comes back again. It's essentially back to the initial phase, the first phase. It's the third phase, but it's very similar to the first phase. The only difference is that she will do this, where there's like that, and if you fail to do that QTE, she will basically target the highest attack unit. But I'm gonna fail here, this QTE here, and my Modernia should be the one that's getting it. Yeah, right there. My Modernia got hit and she died. It's basically, she was full health. If you saw that earlier, she was basically full health, but it will kill you. It will kill the entire shield also. So it's a very strong hit. So that's kind of the goal in here. You just destroy the core and then destroy the wings. Destroying the core is your main priority so that she doesn't do that laser thing. Now, okay, I'm gonna fast charge here. Okay. Okay, so around this time, at around 49 seconds left, you can time it so that you can burst it and destroy the core immediately. This usually works with like Snow White, Maxwell, and to some degree if you can destroy with Alice fast enough. You have like a very small window, and if you fail that, she's gonna do that laser very fast. And there, and then yeah, right, you see there, that one was like super fast. I didn't destroy it immediately with Maxwell. You have really small window of opportunity there, so you kind of really have to. And then you're stunned here, and failing that is basically GG's, right? That's a one shot right there. But if you successfully do it immediately, she's gonna go into this, basically her last phase. It's like that's the sword phase where she's just gonna spam this, and your goal is to just do that QTE. Otherwise, she's gonna do that sword phase, and the rest of the fight is basically just that. And if you fail this, even if you cover, this thing will go through. It basically one-shots you. Noir survived because of Blanc's indomitability. It's pretty much just this until the rest of the fight. So your goal is to just... It's a pretty standard Modernia fight. If you're in challenge mode, you'll likely have done Modernia already, as well in special interception. So this fight is not very new to you, right? Some people might have gotten away with not doing the skip method on the animation, so that's, I guess, something to know if you guys are not aware of yet. Who knows if it's actually a bug or not. It's been there since for like almost a year now, right? So here's the thing, right? You're at the very first beginning. So now let's just try to talk about like a little bit of the min-max things here. On phase 1, if you don't destroy these wings fast enough, they won't respawn once she comes back the second time. So you want to destroy them fast enough so that you get another set of wings, so that you can deal more, basically more points, right? And then it gives you plenty of time to shoot on that core, and if you failed, yeah, she's gonna do that thing. But so that's kind of like part of the min-max again for this fight. She spawns the core. She basically, you have the opportunity to destroy the core on phase 1 3 times, and then the wings 2 times. And if you fail to destroy both wings at the same time, you will see that when she goes into phase 2, she will have the wings at there, right? Like it's not fully, it's not destroyed, and the HP stays. So for some people, if they find that this phase area was a little bit more difficult compared to the previous one, you could choose to keep the wings alive or don't destroy it immediately, and then destroy it here the moment she flies back to the second phase. This is like, people call it the teleport phase, whatever phase it is for you. She comes back around 140 and then does that core. Make sure you destroy that core also. So it's the same thing as well. You saw that the HP of the core kind of carried over. So if you cannot like destroy the core immediately, that's another strat that you could do. Just like lower it back. Obviously, if you want to min-max your damage, you want to destroy as many parts as you can, so that she respawns them, and then you just get as many points as you can. If you don't have enough firepower to destroy the wings, you can do this as well. Let's just say like you don't have enough firepower to destroy the missiles. You can time it. You see that? So you can time your cover, and you can pretty much dodge all those bombs. So if you don't have enough firepower to destroy these wings, that's something that you can do. Yeah, it hurts. You can see like it does. Those bombs hurts, and if you time your cover properly, you can guard against that yourself. Team compositions. Let's start off with this. The bunny girls is pretty much like, I feel like everyone, like, come on, you can put in almost anything on this one. I would probably prefer Modernia is good here, but some people have used Modernia somewhere else as where you can use A2 here as well, but it would be kind of like a waste of opportunity, because I think you could put A2 somewhere else. If you have like a strong A2, it might be better to put her in a different team instead, so that you can pad more damage on that. I would say the units that benefit the most in here are like Scarlet, Modernia obviously, and a bunch of Alice could work, but really personally think I would probably build your other teams first before your bunnies, but let's go to the other teams. So this one is something that Kira from NA have cooked. That guy has been the top one as well, but this is also another thing that we have not mentioned in the Tia video, but Tia actually can work with Rupee, so you don't actually need Naga in order to use Tia. And the crazy thing why that is the case is because when she bursts, she recovers HP, right? And so now the question is, it is like, okay, where's the second recover HP? Now the thing is, Rupee is cooking up here where you can actually have increase stack buff count for all Iron Code allies. And what is Tia? Well, she is Iron Code, so you can actually use Tia with Rupee and you don't need Naga in this situation. And I would say they roughly perform it's weaker obviously than with Naga, but the good thing about it is you can use Naga in a different team instead. So okay, so let me show you why this is the case, right? So here Tia doesn't have anything. I use Tia. You see this reptile lover is 1 stacks. Now if you end up using, okay, it's still 1 stack. I'm gonna use Rupee. Actually no, that doesn't, it's not Rupee. If she can continuously attack, my bad. Like, so because Rupee, in order for her to increase the stack, she needs to hit 100 times, so we need to keep shooting here. Oops. Well, okay, right there, it got two stacks now. So that's thanks to Rupee's increasing stack buff count, which she did, I believe. Yeah, that was pretty much it. That's how you could use this team. And to me, I used this team when I used Naga and Tia, so you can use that. But the team that I used with Naga and Tia is this actually. So I used Summer Anise and Scarlet, and the good thing about this is Summer Anise increases the reload speed, which benefits Scarlet also really well. So that's why. There are some times where you could actually cook up with another team, and I'll talk about the Scarlet Summer Anise again also. And it would be here in this team. Okay, so this is the Dorothy team that I cooked up with Alice and Maxwell, but you can also go with Scarlet and Summer Anise in here. The downside on this team is it's like a very risky team, like, because Modernia does a lot of like chip damage, and Scarlet, you can kind of run this team, but you're gonna have to reset a lot. But it does put Scarlet and Summer Anise in a pretty good potential. Privity buffs these 4 units basically right here, and Novel. Now if you want a slightly easier team, like, or like if you don't have Novel, for example, or something, another team that you could use is like Quincy, for example, or that is like a relatively easier or safer team because Quincy can heal Scarlet. And you can also use Marciana, but Marciana is not very offensive, and you don't really need healing on this boss. As long as you do the mechanics, or you can deal with the missiles and stuff, you'll be fine on this boss. Team 4. So this is where Snow White comes in, And as usual, most people would have used their Miranda with Snow White because Snow White really shines with Miranda. I would say Litter is also pretty good, but some people don't have like the charge speed enough to keep her with 100%, 1000% on the burst. And so that's where Miranda is, I would say, like an easier, safer unit to use because her buff lasts for 10 seconds as opposed to 5, and it gives you enough time to full charge Snow White at 1000 full charge. If you've done the part where you did not use Naga and you instead use Rupee, this is also where Naga will come in. You can use Naga in here. You guys are seeing D, and yes, that is right. I did use D on my team. Rank 6 team at almost 6 mil did use D. So this was my team. I guess like to kind of show also, this is what I ended up using with my team. I used D, but I guess there's a huge caveat to this because I would say she was actually working fine without overloads, but it was kind of rough. I think like if I had other buffers, she would have been better. You don't need to do like, you don't need to overload her, although I did. I used a lot of rocks. These are her lines: so max ammo, attack, max ammo, elemental. But I personally, would I say it's worth it? You know what? If you're on copium, sure. It was pretty expensive, but for the sake of tests and videos, I did cook up with D, and I would say she was actually relatively nice to run with. I did run with this team in particular, and I was fast charging with Dala so that I get burst faster, and because this team doesn't get a lot of charge, and you would want like Quantum Cube to kind of help out with the burst generation for like Drake and this one. And I went with the DPS on D with like Bastion or Resilience, but she ends up being helpful because this team didn't really have a lot of firepower on the other burst, and it did help me clear out the core. But again, some caveats. My Drake has some overloads, even though she doesn't have like 444 skills. She was overloaded, and yeah, like these units were upgraded. I would say give it a shot for some people. Maybe it might work out. I have seen one where they use like volume and then like guilty as well to kind of help out with it with D. So she's not completely useless in this raid. I think I enjoyed using her for this one because I managed to have a comfier time dealing with the wings and the cores. Show these damage. Yeah, so just to give you a perspective why I wasn't. Yeah, so this is Snow White's damage, and in relation to D. Oh, actually, wait, no, my bad. That's not the run. Oh, actually, no, this is the one with Naga. And I did another run, the one with Drake. So it didn't really, Naga didn't really provide that much in terms of the difference, but maybe I didn't like run it that well. That's another thing too. Because primarily I was getting from Naga her buff on her skill 2, not skill 1, because this one didn't really have any bonus shields. So yeah, anyways, I wouldn't say necessarily that the Naga was good in this team in specific, but one of the teams that other people have done, they've used Naga separately with from Tia, so that's something to consider. I did not. If you don't have D, and obviously that's like, I think, a me thing. I don't kind of expect a lot of people to use that. You can use a lot of substitutes with this. Most commonly, like Yulha is another example to that, and I would say like Helm. Drake was another option that a lot of people used alongside with Snow White, mainly because they just needed more DPS to deal with like the core. And Drake is not necessarily like the best, but she does provide like attack buff on it, and her DPS is not the worst as well. I would say, yeah, actually, like in my team with this, she actually did almost close to 100 mil with 3 overloads. It's actually almost the same as D, and D was elemental advantage. Just to give you a perspective, I guess. In my opinion, it did give me a little bit of comfy time on dealing with the parts, so I kind of ended up liking it. Oh god, I talked a lot about D, but yeah, you know what? Now, the last team that I did use was this one, actually. So I used this team. A lot of people did use, instead of guilty, they used Summer Helm. I think it's whichever one works for you. I think this one kind of worked out for me, Jackal, with Guilty, because she didn't. Guilty did pretty good damage as well. And the only downside is obviously the cooldown on the burst, but if you, it's gonna vary from account to account, but you could try to time your burst so that you will be able to burst just kind of in crucial moments, or you want to reload on guillotine at specific times instead, so that her burst is up the moment like her or she's auto attacking whenever you're doing like the boss mechanics. So it's gonna vary from some people. There's one downside to this, like if you're using Jackal, the downside on this one is like it could end up harming your guillotine. You might need to reset around phase 3 where you have low HP and the boss does like some chip damages. So downside on this, I would say I would use something else if you have the other option. So you could use this as well, or yeah, and with Mask it's fine with to use like Pepper, I guess. So you could do that. Pepper is not a bad option in this solo raid as well, because she is wind and she has a pretty good multiplier on her skill 1. So you could use Pepper also. She does pretty well. I've seen, I think did Mr. Konto overload Pepper? I think he showed that earlier. Well, yeah. So yep, and as usual, I will be just adding up more of the guides as well. Here I'll be writing down the different team comps and like my other notes as well for the boss, and if there's any other tips that I did find. I am sad because the rank that we got this time around was 6, not 7. Dang it. No one else cooked harder pie. Oh no. Well, I will be doing more tests as usual. I'll be uploading the changes and any teams that I figured out in here. If you guys are curious on checking like how the runs actually, how this run that I did go, you can go check out my twitch.tv/KaiJLV, and I'll see you guys next time.